played the wrong intro, man. Anyway, how's it going? We are here. It's Leo and Sean here, ready to talk about there's a big day of football here. Round of 16 starts for the Club World Cup, and we have the final of the U21 tournament, which will be Germany and England. Which game are you most excited for? Which tournament?
Oh, for today, I think, in my opinion, the under 21 European Championship final is going to be wild between two teams, especially Germany, that I really enjoyed watching during the tournament. They got some great player, starting with Nick Voltemade, the striker. He's been linked, by the way, with Bayern Munich
Yes.
this last days. So yeah, I think it will be a kind of a great show.
Yeah, I think that the semifinals, just the teams that have been beaten on the way here, even really the quarterfinals, because Spain is out as well. But the French team that's loaded, Netherlands, very good team. And you see the Netherlands 17s or 19, I forget, it was 17s or 19s just won. I think it was the 19s.
19th, yeah.
The 19s just won their tournament. So look, it's the usual suspects with the talent. It's every once in a while you'll get a Portugal, get a golden generation, but France, Germany, England. It's the teams that develop the talent constantly, like a conveyor belt, that are usually in these matches. So I think I haven't watched a lot of the tournament because I didn't have it on the channels where I was, but today I will be watching that today at 3:00. So it's 3:00 my time.
Yeah.
I'll be excited for that. Before that, or it's right in the middle of the Club World Cup, is Palmeiras and Botafogo at 12 here, your time 6, and then Benfica Chelsea, which I think is gonna be an interesting match. I mean, two really good games today to kick this off, and which one you want to start with? The early game?
Yeah, let's start with the early one.
Palmeiras and Botafogo. Right now, I wanted to check out the standings in the Brazil.
If we can say something about that game, it will be a match between two teams who are not used to having the ball in the competition. Less than 50% of the time they get the ball. So I think it will be kind of open, attack minded. It will be interesting, but it could also be a match that very contested, because these are two of the 5 teams with the highest average number of fouls since the start of the competition, especially Botafogo. They had to play rough against Paris, against Atletico and Seattle. They made a good impression on me, especially in front of PSG, because of their status and what they have shown, and because they have beaten maybe the natural favorite of the competition. So yeah, it will be, I think, interesting, and just a duel between two South American teams, and two Brazilian teams, to be more precise. So they're used to play against each other, so they know the strength and the weaknesses of their opponents.
Yeah, Botafogo is the reigning Copa Libertadores champion.
Yeah.
Obviously, Palmeiras won in 2020 and 2021. I mean, this tournament has been dominated by Brazilian teams since 2017. River Plate's the only non-Brazilian team that has won that tournament. So, and looking at the standings in the league, they're both doing okay in the league. Palmeiras is a little bit higher in the league. The league just started. They're 11 or 12 matches in here. So Palmeiras is in fourth, Botafogo is in eighth in the table. So, but that stuff, I think it doesn't really matter when you play a game like this. This is, we spoke a little bit about this yesterday. Palmeiras, Botafogo, Benfica, Chelsea. One of those teams is going to be in a semifinal of the Club World Cup. And look, before and when they used to do the tournament, it was always South America versus the European teams in the final. To be in a semifinal wasn't that big of a deal. Now with this 32 teams bracket and with the teams that are in it, to be one of the final four teams left standing in this tournament is going to be a pretty big deal, I think. And the winner of this game today you get a lot of money. You got a chance to get to a semifinal, but this is huge bragging rights match as well. The fans will be out. It'll be a really fantastic atmosphere in Philadelphia. And just like you said, with both teams trying to play, they don't have the ball as much, and they kind of, I always think those kind of matches are interesting because it's I see it with Manchester United sometimes, and you're like, when they're away, sometimes they'll like to play on the counter, and they'll be happy with that and hitting it. But like, both teams want to sit back. You're like, no, you take the ball, you take the ball, and it's almost like a chess match trying to move pieces around the board. So really strategic contest. If you ask me who's going to win the match, I don't know. I mean, I know Palmeiras probably a little bit more talented and playing a little bit better here, but I don't know. I mean, Botafogo is the defending champion, so this is really a toss-up. And say, like, I mean, do you feel like this could go either way?
Yeah. I think we need to point out that Botafogo will play without their midfielder, Gregory, who played the entirety of the first three games. So it will be interesting to see how they will do without him and how his replacement will play. I think if we are looking on the starting lineups or predicted starting lineups, it will be Danilo Barbosa, the 29 Brazilian, who will play replacing him. He didn't play much this year, only 13 game, all comps. So he will need to adapt to that competition with the heat, with the tense, because I think it will be a lot of tension in this encounter. So yeah, if I have to bet on something, I would say that Palmeiras will qualify, not because they are a better team than Botafogo, but because their individual talents, in my opinion, are maybe bigger than those of Botafogo.
Yeah, Pedro's not here, so I'll be Pedro right now. Botafogo is the underdog. Palmeiras is a slight favorite. It's called plus 120 here, but a tough game, to bet. And the second game is basically the same thing. I mean, almost exactly the same odds. Chelsea is plus 120.
Yeah.
Basically with Benfica. I thought this, to me, I think everyone that is anyone that hasn't watched a lot of Chelsea this year will probably think Chelsea's just going to come in and roll this game. And I've watched a lot of Chelsea, and they don't make it easy. And you never know which Chelsea's going to show up. They were really good at the end of the season, and they were really good at the beginning of the season, and they were really bad in the middle of the season. There was really no in between with them. They either play well or they don't. They're not one of these teams that is going to, just play like kind of like and like scrape out a win. I mean, they just play. They're really, really Jekyll and Hyde. And look, Benfica is talented. When you look at their roster full of players, they have some good players in the squad, and I think this game for me is probably the more intriguing of the two, because I wouldn't be stunned to see Benfica win 3-0. I mean, if Benfica plays the way they did against Bayern Munich, they probably win. If Chelsea plays the way it did in the last game, Chelsea probably wins. But I don't know how. I never know how to think about Chelsea. We have a thing. We have a game that we play with a lot of these people, and it's like a knockout. You pick one team every week in the Premier League, and all they have to do is win, and you stay alive. They can't draw, they can't lose, and you can only pick the team once. And everybody, a lot of the people in the group are Chelsea fans, and no one picks. It's like picking. No one picks Chelsea. Chelsea's playing Southampton. Man, they should win this. But I can see them losing 1-0 or drawing, or Chelsea's playing Manchester City and they win. You just don't know. But how do you feel about this game?
The first thing I think it's to remember that it's been over 10 years since Benfica and Chelsea last played each other. Do you know when was the last time?
This European final?
Yeah.
2013. The 2013 Europa League final, because Benfica Benfica is cursed after. I don't know do you know the story?
No, but I will.
Benfica they won the 2 Champions League finals, or the 2 European Cups, back in 1961 and 1962.
With 𝐊𝐤𝐤
there was a the coach. There was a dispute with the coach, right? And he left, and he said, "Listen, you guys will not. I will curse you. You won't win another European title for 100 years." And they were good. They had Eusebio, and since then they've lost to Manchester United in 6. Every single time they get to a final, they lose. Right. So the Benfica curse is real. If you look that up, Bela Gutmann, the Hungarian coach, he won 2 titles in a row. He wanted a new contract and a pay raise, and the club said no. This is after they won 2 European Cups, mind you, and they broke the deadlock of Real Madrid. And he said, "Okay, not in 100 years will we ever be a European champion." They've been in 8 finals since then, and they're 0-8.
Oh,
so
okay.
This is part of this curse. This is the last time they played was in 2013, 12 years ago, in that final. And remember, Chelsea was the reigning European champions at the time. And the only team at the time, they were the only European team to ever lose a Club World Cup final. They lost in the final 1-0. That was the only South American team that beat a European team. That's another fact there for you.
And to add another statistic to that game, they have only met 3 times in history, and all 3 matches were won by Chelsea. So it's kind of like Benfica have the opportunity to write history in some sort, because it's their nemesis. Chelsea are their nemesis. But if we go further than the stats, if Benfica play like they did against Bayern, as you said, it will be an interesting game, but they don't have to play like they did against Auckland, because the first part of the game against Auckland, which was really difficult against a team with less technical ability, less budget, less good player, less everything, in fact. And the 6-0 result is kind of not undeserved, but it hides the difficulties Benfica had against that team. And concerning Chelsea, if we just look at what they did in the competition so far, they had, I think, in my opinion, more difficult competition than Benfica. Not because of the teams, because Benfica played against Boca Juniors, they played against Bayern Munich. But I think in what the opponent have offered to the teams, Chelsea had difficulties. We saw against Los Angeles. They won, but it wasn't a really good performance. They lost 3-1 against Flamengo. Then they won against Esperance. But as you said, the group stage phase was at the image of the season. It was unbalanced. We have seen some good things, others bad. I think about the defense, the struggle to defend, the struggle in some areas, but they got talent. They got a lot of depth in their squad. So yeah, it will be an interesting game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and remember we have two matches tomorrow as well. We will get to those tomorrow, but those will be PSG, Inter, and Flamengo, Bayern, uh, another Brazilian team, another couple of European giants that look destined to play in a quarterfinal. The other game today that we want to get to, and we haven't talked a lot about it on the show, but we definitely want to get to it here today, is the Euro 21 final, Germany and England.
Yeah.
This is at three. This is 3 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock your time in Bratislava, I believe is the final.
Yeah.
Look, Wout has the most goals, most goal and assists, goal involvements. He's got 9, 6 goals, 3 assists since they started keeping these optimal stats in 2007. This is the best tournament anyone's had. He's a monster. Everyone in Europe is trying to chase him at this point now. He came, I don't know if you could say he came out of nowhere, but he's going to end up at Bayern, I'm sure, because that's what German players do if they're any good. But interesting, going there with Harry Kane. Harvey Elliott has been pretty good. He has 4 goals for England, and people kind of forget. He had the bad injury, and it's easy to forget when he doesn't play a lot for Liverpool because they're pretty talented. But he's still a young player. A lot of people are thinking there's going to be some goals in this game because of the way England plays, because of the way Germany's been scoring. It's going to be high scoring. England's beaten some pretty good teams to get here. I think they're a little, they're pretty battle tested. It's Germany as well. But I'm sure you watched Germany play the other day because they played France, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, what is your take on this game?
The first thing, as I said in the intro, is that I am kind of Germany has a lot of attacking talent. Nick Woltemade, we talked about him. He has been involved in 9 goals in this tournament. He scored 6 and assisted 3. It's just incredible because they played 5 games, I think. 3 in the group stage, then the quarter and semi-final. Now they will play the final. He's incredible. He has everything a modern striker needs to have. He's mobile. He's tall. He's strong. He can shoot from kind of everywhere on the pitch. Yeah, he's the man to watch. in my opinion, and I think in people's opinion in general. But it will be also a great collective match, because England and Germany, we all know what they represent in world football. And if you watch at the squads, the different squad, and especially England, you can see a lot of players already playing, and some even established in Premier League sides. So it's under 21 by the edge, but if you just look at the names and what they have done in their career so far, it's kind of impressive. Now, if we just talk about this tournament, Germany have beaten England in the group stage 2-1. It was a good match. So now England will want to take their revenge, and it's the best time, because what can be more important than the final? So, in my opinion, as said, I will go with Germany to win, but it will be a very disputed game tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think there's a really distinct possibility this match goes to extra time, and possibly penalties. Maybe there's some goals in extra time as well. I think just because it's going to be high scoring. Both teams are going to be going for it, especially in the second half if they need goals. So yeah, I'm very excited to watch that. I haven't watched a lot of it, as I said. So that should be interesting. I just wanted to kind of, we haven't had a lot of chance to go through the news here too much with the show, because there's been so many matches going on at this Club World Cup. The schedule came out for the Premier League. It came out, a while ago, but the schedule came out for the Premier League, the Championship. There's a lot of buzz. Do you watch this show, the Wrexham show, Welcome to Wrexham or whatever? Do you watch that on?
It was on Netflix
Huddle or something?
No, I didn't. The only I watched it was the Sunderland Till We Die.
Okay, so do you know the story of Wrexham?
Yeah, they been bought by
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Reynolds and
Ryan Reynolds and the guy from
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You got Rob McElhenney.
Yeah, and they get promoted 2 or 3 seasons in a row, I think.
Yeah, they went from the conference, the non-league, the conference to League 2 to League 1. Now they're in the Championship, and Luton Town did something similar. They went from same thing. It took them 9 or 10 years to do it. They're doing it a lot quicker, obviously, with a lot of money behind them. So it's not the it's a great story, but hey, let's calm the brakes on the fairy tale here. But now they're in the what is probably the hardest league in the world.
Yeah.
This league is no joke. Their first here's their schedule. They open with Southampton, who just was in the Premier League. Not very good, but still coming down from the Premier League. They have to play Hull City in the EFL Cup. They play West Brom, Sheffield Wednesday, Millwall, who was in the playoffs, QPR, North, Leicester. You're playing a lot higher level of teams now.
QPR have a new coach with Julien Stéphan, who used to train at Stade Rennais in France. Just to note.
Yeah. Once again, they had a pretty good season last year. They were up and down, but pretty solid for them. I just people think, hey, they're going to be in the Premier League. I think that's probably a year or two away, a season or two away. Look, I could be wrong here, but this league, the Championship, with 46 matches, there's 24 teams. 2 go up automatically. 1 goes up through the playoffs. If they make it into the top 6 of this league, I'll be absolutely stunned, even if they make it into the playoffs. I'm not even saying they get promoted, because you have these teams. Leicester, who's going to get probably a points deduction, but they're going to be pretty good. Southampton, who was just in the Premier League, playing with teams didn't have a lot of points, didn't have a lot of wins, but once again, you're in the Premier League.
Yeah, when you get relegated from the Premier League has a system to help you to just being promoted in the next year or in the 2 or 3 next year, because
golden parachute.
yeah, you have a Premier League budget, so, or kind of a Premier League budget. So yeah, it's not a surprise to see clubs making the elevator. We have seen it before. Sheffield United were close to come back to Premier League this season, and that's cool for the teams, but it's kind of unfair if we just have a big view on the championship.
Yeah, and just once again, this is hold on one second. This is just me personally thinking. I think there's a much better chance they get relegated than they get promoted again. It's really this league. Everybody watches the Premier League because it's glorious and all this. But if you actually watch these games, if you're a fan of the league, I always on Saturdays I try to watch the recap show. It's like it's on IPTV. It's like Match of the Day, but for like the EFL. And you watch, and it's just every game is a war. Every you're playing Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday. You're just playing so many games. Then you got to play all these other things. Oh, hey.
Hi, Pedro.
What's up, Pedro?
Hello. Good afternoon, my guys.
We're talking about the how hard the championship schedule is, and because Wrexham just got promoted and everything like this. But I know you would probably want to talk about Benfica Chelsea today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
even as a sporting fan.
Yes, even as a sporting fan, but I'm Portuguese. Above of that, I was checking the game is in Charlotte. How is the weather in Charlotte today? Did you check the weather forecast, fan?
I can tell you right now, it's 73 degrees right now. It'll be it's going to be hot. It's going to be very warm. I can tell you in Charlotte weather Celsius. I'll tell you what it is in Celsius. 33 is a high in Celsius. It's going to be there's going to be maybe some rain, maybe a little bit cool, but it's going to be pretty warm. So it's going to interesting kind of match. I know Chelsea's probably a little bit deeper as a squad, but once again, you can only play 11 and put subs in. But their subs are going to be a little bit, maybe they have better players coming off the bench. But what do you think, Pedro?
As I said yesterday, in my opinion, Benfica has a word to say. Benfica fans want this victory, at least a good fight. At least that Benfica can play the game by the way, be competitive. In a better perspective, I like Benfica in the double chance, which means plus half a goal, which the better can cover 2 of the possible outcomes. It's my play. It's my play for the game. Benfica supporters are very unpleasant with the team because Benfica only won two championships in the last 5 years, and Sporting won 2 championships in a row, something that doesn't happen for almost 15 years. And have you seen some of the previous games? Benfica it's playing with motivation. Benfica is playing with motivation. and he will do that again tonight.
And it could be, because we didn't talk about that, but it could be Ángel Di Maria's last game with Benfica tonight. If they lose to Chelsea, he will go back to Rosario Central.
Yes. Absolutely. We know that it can be Di Maria last game for Benfica will be emotional, and when Di Maria returned to Benfica, he said, "I have so much better financial proposals, and I decided to stay in Lisbon with you guys."
Yeah,
it's the romantic side. It's the romantic side of sport that it's not so often nowadays.
but you just have to. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was
You
gonna.
just have to see Di Maria's career, and it has been a fairy tale since the start of it. From Rosario to Real Madrid. Oh, we can put away his Manchester United year, because we all know it was kind of difficult.
Ran out of town by burglars. We won't talk
Yeah,
about
but tell me one thing. When Di Maria was in Manchester, the coach it was Van Gaal, right?
Yes, but his wife didn't
Yeah,
like
didn't work with South American players.
Oh yeah.
Just didn't work out. It's a question of mentalities.
Yeah, but apart from Manchester United, he was a star at Real Madrid, one of the best the best player at that time. He's kind of I can't say he's a legend at PSG, but he's close to be. At Benfica, he's also someone really recognized, and now he will finish his career at his former club. So it's kind of the dreamed career for a player.
Yes, all the ingredients are there for a great match.
Yeah.
As I say, go ahead, Sean.
We were talking about the. I spoke a little bit about the Bela Gutmann curse on Benfica from 1962, because he, 100 years you won't win a title, and since then 8 finals, 8 defeats. Is that a story that people know well in Lisbon?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know if you know about that story that Benfica won the Champions League in the system in the 60s twice. In the time they have that great squad with 𝐊𝐤𝐜𝐤.
Yes.
And after that, when Benfica reach a final, they miss. It's already in a row. They miss in the overtime. They miss in the penalty shooting. So they said it's like a course. But nowadays Benfica cannot fight with the big sharks, as Real Madrid or Manchester City. I don't even imagine Benfica to reach the final. But in this specific game, Chelsea it's not playing so well, and I think Benfica has chances in this match. It's a dog. It's considered a dog by the books, but can bark and bite tonight.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, while we're just talking about Portuguese football, I mean, because Porto's got the 88 and 2003, 2004, 2004 against Monaco in the final, Jose Mourinho, and Sporting's obviously broken through and won 3 of the last 5 titles to break that 20-year Benfica and Porto Liga NOS stranglehold. But my team Rio Ave hanging in there. When I traveled to Portugal, I've been to matches at Tondela and Chaves and Rio Ave and Guimarães and the one that's out. It's why I forget the name of the stadium. It's out past Lisbon. past the big statue where Jose Mourinho is from. I went to a match there with the Barbash, my guy Barbash. Pedro, I'll send you the picture of the guy Barbash that owns all those restaurants.
I know the guy, but Boring it's from Setúbal.
Stubal, correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's from Setúbal.
Yes, I went to a match there, and then the one with the yellow and the bird in Lisbon as well.
Estoril. It's where I live there. It's close to Lisbon. It's in the beach area.
Yes. I've been to a lot of matches and been to the Nations League. The Portuguese league at this point. I mean, you talk about how they can't compete now, and they just kind of, they've gone from how's it going there? SSB? They've gone from being able to compete, and now it's they anytime they get somebody a pretty good player, they have to sell, and it's become trying to my friend Demaro Pereira, whenever Benfica gets a good player, he knows, hey, listen, we're going to sell him on and then rebuild the team, rebuild the squad, get big money. Enzo Fernandez and 𝐊𝐤𝐤 and 𝐊𝐤𝐜𝐤, and the list goes on and on. I mean, as someone who watches that league, I mean, is it kind of frustrating to see that when you see these teams, Sporting's built this really good team up, and now all of a sudden they're selling, and they instead of maybe trying to go for it, they have to be able to compete at in the long run, and to be able to compete as a squad, they have to kind of sell. Is that frustrating?
Yes, I give you a better example. Why Benfica sold João Neves to PSG? He was so young, good in the midfield, and the supporters contested the decision. You can sell the players, but not with the 20 or 21 years old. Try to keep the players until 24, 25, and then you can sell for a better price. I don't know if the issue is if the clubs need money for their cash flow, or if the presidents are pressured by the managers, by the staff, their entourage, to make business to receive the commissions.
Now, I want to go. I just want to include Leo here, because I think the issues with Lyon come from this, because you have a PSG team that is spending whatever it wants and constantly dominating. However, Monaco breaks through in 2017 with Mbappe and wins the title, goes to a Champions League semifinals, dominant, and very, very good squad. It's not just Mbappe. There's Bakayoko. The whole squad was really fantastic. And then all of a sudden broken apart because you can't compete with even Monaco can't compete with PSG, because PSG just spends through it. 2 years ago, you have PSG doesn't win the league, they come back, now they're the Champions League winners, and that's with with this, and I think these other teams have to try to spend maybe to compete, because you can't just you can't have a 30-point gap every year between the top and then all of a sudden you're struggling to compete, and then now you're in this hole. I mean, is this something that's I mean, you can probably speak to as well. I mean, is that an issue with that league as well?
The thing is that France is known worldwide for its capacity to form player.
The League of Talents.
Yeah, we are the cold League of Talent. But if you just take a look in England, in Germany, even in Spain, or even in Italy, you will see that there are a lot of French players. I think in Germany last year there were 33, between 33 and 37. I don't remember exactly, players from France. It's kind of incredible in a big championship. In France, there are no real owner with money except PSG. Now we have Paris FC, who were bought by Arnaud, the Arnaud family. It's the owner of LVMH,
Everything.
and
He owns
everything.
everything. Yeah, he owns the
Yeah.
he owns half the world.
Everything, in fact. Monaco, who is owned by Rybolovlev, who is a Russian.
Oligarch.
Yeah. Marseille, they're under American flag with what's his name? Oh, I don't remember. Franco McCourt.
Yes.
But yeah, for Lyon, for example, John Textor is just someone who says he got money, but he doesn't. Now we will be following, according to the news, Lyon will be under the Michelle Kong ownership. I don't know if you know who she is. She's an American woman, billionaire. She is the owner of the feminine section of Lyon, and she will invest in the club. So we don't have a lot of big owners, but we form a lot of good, very good players. So we don't, in France, we can't keep these talents, because when the Premier League or PSG, because if I talk about Lyon, when PSG went and said, okay, we want Bradley Barcola, we can give you between 40 and 50 million. For a club like Lyon, it's impossible to refuse. For example, Malik Fofana, who is currently playing in Lyon, if Chelsea or Liverpool come and say, okay, we can give you 50 million or 60 million. What can Lyon do to keep this kind of player? They can't. Today, Sunderland will bought his midfielder Habib Diarra for 30 million euros. It's impossible for a club like that to refuse. So, yeah, France has a very good talents, but they can't keep it, and it's the main problem in the league, I think.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, I wrote this. You see the same thing with the French basketball, and all the players coming over here, and I think there's a mirror. When at the beginning of last year, when they didn't have a TV contract for the McDonald's Ligue 1,
Yeah.
and it's such a good league to watch. There's the game, the matches are exciting. It's on beIN Sports here, and match. There's a lot of 4-3s, and take PSG out. The matches here in this level, they're really interesting matches, Lens and some of these,
But just look at the interviews players make when they leave France. They all say, or even managers, they all say it's not a farmer league. It's a quite difficult league. It's very physical. It's very tactical. Okay, we don't shine on the European stage, but if you just look at the championship, you will see it's something really interesting to watch. And we have good atmospheres. Our stadiums are quite full. Yeah, it's very. I'm a big defender of the league.
Pedro, we spoke a little bit about the U21 final before you got here as well. Germany and England. I know you'll be watching later. What are your thoughts on that match?
Germany doesn't lose a game for a long period. I was checking, and they beat England in the last game, bouncing back the result. They played very well last game. They create last 6, 7, 8 great opportunities to score. What I see here, it's Germany to score in the first half. They don't wait for the second half. So if you ask me, my prediction for this match in a better perspective is Germany to score in the first half. And notice that Germany is playing very well. I know that England it's a strong team. They have shown that from the tournament, but German squad is it's so strong that I think they score in the first half. And let's see how England can deal with that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I'm excited to watch that match.
Yeah.
Once again. Yeah. You guys got anything else you want to talk about?
No. Oh, just what are you thinking about Jurgen Klopp take about the Club World Cup? He said yesterday that it's the worst thing FIFA could have done. So, what do you think about that?
It's clearly a money grab. This Confederations was the Confederations Cup. You already have the teams because you have the window for the internationals, and they just want to keep pushing these players. The players complain and they're like, we have too many matches, and people are like, you're getting paid a lot of money, you're getting paid this amount of money, but like, you're playing all these extra games. Rodri complained. What happened right after Rodri complained? The Ballon d'Or winner, the guy who's the winner, the best player in the sport at the time, ACL injury. ACLs are all muscle use, overworking. They're playing too many matches. It's clearly, he said it's the worst idea implemented in football. As a fan, it's for me, as we go on, it's been great to watch. But, these players need a break. I mean, you can't just keep pushing them, constantly pushing. And now, as a Manchester United fan, like, look, we're not in Europe and we're not in this, but, Chelsea and City, I think City's going to be a little bit better. City and Chelsea are probably a little bit better equipped to deal with this because they have a deeper squad. However, if like Cole Palmer or some one of these players gets hurt, one of their better players, it's going to be an issue. But they'll just spend their way out of it. But some of these other teams, I think to watch, Benfica as the season goes on, to watch Real Madrid as the season goes on, to watch some of these teams that aren't as deep, as the season goes on, will be very interesting in the fall because these players never get a break. I mean, they're if you're a team, PSG, Bayern, Manchester City, that goes all the way to the final on July 13th. Basically, the season's, your summer, you got to fly back, you do whatever. You're going to be on break for about probably 2 weeks. Because like Manchester United's squad is coming back in July 7th, July 8th. So, they're going to go on break. Manchester City's going to get in the final. And, they're going to go to July 13th. They're going to go on break. And then they have to turn around and, play. Basically, you can't just come back on, August 2nd and say, hey, we're going to play on the 16th. I mean, but if you don't have this break, these guys are going to be super burned out. I mean, it's great. I think it's good for the fans. We enjoy watching it. We enjoy talking about it. I enjoy watching it. But in the long run, and then next summer you have the World Cup, and then the following summer you have the Nations League, and then the following summer you have this. Like, you can't say, oh, yeah, you'll get a break in 2027, 2 years from now. But these players are going to just – at some point, the players are going to revolt against it, and I think there's going to be an issue. You don't need to have this. You could just have, the go back to the Confederations Cup. But now they see they're making money with it, with all the television deals and everything, and they're giving the players money. And they're, the players are going to – if you win, you're going to get cash. So they're going to say, all right, I guess we'll deal with it. So, and the clubs are going to, the winner, the club is getting 130 million. So, it's great for them. So it's just crazy though.
Yeah. And you, Pedro, what do you think about?
What I think soccer. It's the biggest sport in the world. You cannot even compare with the other sport. It's a B with a big billionaire business. And if things gets out of control, of course there will be an issue with the players. This is for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it can be the only solution for them to be heard, because the thing is, we say, yeah, they keep earning money, they play a lot of games, but if we just get out of the sportive perception, as a fan, it's too much football all year. Every day you can watch football if you want. You don't have rest, because if players don't, we don't have rest too. And the quality of the analysis, the way people think football, the way they perceive football is also impacted, in my opinion, because there are so much games that if a team plays away on Wednesday and plays another way on Saturday, you will read, okay, they did good, then they did bad, then okay, they did. It's quite difficult to analyze that, I think.
If you compare this with the American professional leagues, for example, NBA, the NFL or the NHL or the MLB, they stop for 3 4 months,
Yeah, you're right.
and they are growing. They are growing. In the NBA, they play a lot. The regular season are 82 games.
Yeah, yeah.
They
And
they
they earn
they,
a lot
they
of money.
and they are making a lot of money worldwide.
Yeah,
Because because they think the business. Okay,
yeah,
they have really professional, really top professional managers to handle with everything, and things work out. And I think in the soccer world, it's madness, because the players needs to rest. It's not, for example, in basketball, you can make substitutions whenever you want. You can change your players whenever you want. So you almost have two rosters, okay, the lineup and the rotation, and you can manage the minutes you want. In soccer, you cannot do that. Okay, the main team plays almost all the games,
yeah,
even with substitutions. The substitutions usually happens in the second half, so it's a lot of load. It's a madness load of games. I disagree with this competition after competition, and the players wants to be with their families, wants to go to holidays.
yeah, yeah. We don't have to. We should not forget that they're humans before being footballers.
Yeah, that's great. Too many matches. As a fan, it's I don't. I like to watch it, but
Yeah,
I need a break.
yeah,
I need a break. If I need a break, man, these guys are playing. They need a break.
of course.
All right. Well, we're gonna go watch these matches today. We're gonna see how they end up, and then tomorrow we'll be back to talk about them and discuss the ones the matches tomorrow, because we have some good ones as
Yeah,
well. So, Pedro, thanks for jumping on as
It's
always.
always it's always a pleasure.
Leo, good to see you.
yeah.
And
Me too. It
we
was a
will
pleasure too.
be back tomorrow. So
Yeah,
tune in. Remember, like, subscribe, and ring that bell.
and have a nice day.